I keep tabs, man.
In case you imaginary viewers,
Oh my god.
didn't
Where are you
realize, we've
posting?
been
Where are you
recording
posting
for
your
the
podcast?
last 10 seconds.
Where are you posting your podcast,
This is
Esau?
Fat Bastard. I'm a little sleepy, but we got. You guys don't have nicknames, so whatever. Forrest, dumbass, Mike's bitch ass, and we'll be talking about relationship red flags. Now, I don't have too much to contribute to this conversation, so I'm gonna let Forrest start us off here.
All right, I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. A relationship not a red flag is one of your best friend's exes. Apparently, that one goes pretty well. So,
We're just
Yeah,
going
green
right
flag.
into it. Right, just
Right?
right. Oh, he's off.
but possible lesbianism, that one is a red flag. But sometimes it takes about 10 years to cook that one out. So,
That's a
but
toughie.
that's about all my relationship experience. Other than that, I went on like one date with some girl that I kissed in a bar. So
Wait.
that's it.
Roll back to the lesbianism thing. So, did she?
Lesbianism. It sounds like a political movement.
What fucking? Were there any red flags? Were there? I mean, any clues about her being potentially
Yeah,
lesbian?
yeah. No, definitely. And like, I'm hesitant to like really dig into another person's psychological and sexual thoughts in a 10-year relationship. But I will say, because everybody knew, and she was pretty open about it, that like she was a bit into girls and she was a little androgynous and all that was fine. All I'll say really is that it was a bit repressed to where when it came time to do the finality move of putting a baby inside her and getting married, it was like, oh shit, I need to have some titties in my face. But I can respect.
So
I don't
Mora
know
was
how
not bi,
anyone.
right? Mora was lesbian. Or was she
Well,
bi?
in the end, I mean, that's kind of the thing. It's like it's just like anything where people grow. It's like hard to. I think like, that we see this now anyway with like all of cultures. Like people are obsessed with identity, and there's like some hidden self. I think that there was an evolution there. I don't think that's a question of like, are you absolutely gay from the moment you're born versus do you like grow that way? I don't know. It went. Hey, I'm having a podcast. Sorry, the femoid just got home. Um. Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna go with somewhat bi, but the more she thought about it, the gayer she got. Which I really actually can respect because I don't know how there's any straight women. When I look at big hairy dick and balls and like imagine rubbing my face on a man's mustache versus big soft titties, I don't know how there's any straight women in the world, but thank God there are.
Here, here.
Wait, I don't think the problem
Pretty
was
good point.
she wasn't straight. She just wasn't into you or wasn't open about not
Well,
being
those aren't
super
those aren't
straight.
even a conflict. If she's not straight, then yeah, she's not going to be into me in the end. But yeah, like I don't know. I wouldn't say even like gay stuff is necessarily a red flag. I feel like a red flag is people that haven't really dug deep and thought about what they want long term in an intense way, whether that's gay stuff, family stuff, whatever it is. I think that is the red flag.
And repeat that one more time.
It's like people that haven't like gotten really comfortable, like people that kind of hide shit from themselves. Does that make sense? Like people that have desires, and whether it's shame or social, whatever it is, like being in a relationship, like people that haven't really explored themselves internally and come to terms with what they really want long term. So like people that like I don't want to use the word lie to themselves because it feels a little malicious, but I guess the word is like explore. Like people that really haven't thoroughly explored. It's hard to have a relationship with somebody that doesn't have a good idea of what they want long term, because then all of a sudden you can have these like big reveals whenever there's a moment of like serious sacrifice, like having kids or starting a family or like getting married or something, where it's like, oh God, now the guillotine's coming down. I have to make a decision that I live with for the rest of my life, and then people can panic. I think that's the ultimate red flag, because like I've seen relationships that work really well where one of the people is is like bi or whatever, and I don't think it has to be like a fully binary of like you have to only like men, and if you're attracted to women or whatever, that's a red flag. I think the red flag is people that aren't really comfortable with themselves. But it's also hard to do that when you're young.
It kind of sounds like you're talking about Mike. Mike, are you a little uncomfortable with yourself? Are you just a little bit unexplored?
No. So Forrest, no. Forrest makes a lot of good points. I will say that I think it varies person to person. Like me personally, I have like I would consider myself picky. Like I guess there are quite a few things personality wise and attraction wise that can just be like basically just deal breakers for me. I feel like I've been talking about this nonstop for the past 2 weeks, but yeah.
Okay, Seasauce, come on. We gotta
Mike,
focus in on your
we're
your
giving you
question
time
there.
here to talk about your red flag.
No,
I thought that
but
was
Seasauce,
obvious.
I gotta challenge you. Where did that come from, Seasauce? You went in with some kind of. You said, Mike, that sounds like you. All right. Why do you say that? I feel like the burden's on you to come up with why you think it's relevant.
Mike,
that applies to
have
Mike.
you thought about sex with a man? What do you think about that? Huh? What do you think about a nice fat
Now
dick?
we know I feel.
I've thought about it a lot. It sounds terrible.
It sounds terrible. Are you sure it's not
sounds
just
like shit.
Are you sure? Is it terrible
Whoa.
because God is gonna punish you
Seasauce?
for it, or?
Can we just acknowledge that he said the words, "I've thought about it a lot"?
Yes, that's recorded. Yep, that's recorded, and that's public.
I guess I'll say I've considered it and like basically thought against it pretty quickly.
Because
yeah, I mean the Bible plays into it for sure. I mean the Bible is probably the main reason, but also it's just
Interesting. The Bible is the main reason.
He didn't say it. He didn't say it wasn't. No, he said it.
It's reason. No. It's reason number one. Reason number two is it does sound pretty revolting.
Poop and buttholes and all that.
So
yeah, especially when Forrest explains how AIDS works.
I don't know as an AIDS expert.
So think about this. What if a really beautiful specimen were to catch your eye, Mike, and you didn't even know at first that was a male? How would you feel about that? You get to second base, third base, all the bases, or whatever the fuck. Like everything except you're actually getting butt fucked.
If it's truly a male and you get to third base, then you've got dick and balls in your mouth, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I'll admit there are some hard to tell cases in the world today, but no.
Let's say, this probably happened before.
That would be extremely disappointing and shocking.
Mike probably hit someone up on Tinder or whatever the fuck because she's, this girl's hot. They get to his fucking house. Wait. What is that lump I'm feeling right here? Wait, what? Oh, no. Oh, no.
No, I will be honest. That has never actually happened. Okay? That has never actually happened.
But if it did happen...
I'm trying to fix my mic.
If it did happen, come on. You gotta think real hard about it. Be honest.
If it did happen, I would admit it.
You're already getting hot and heavy. You're in the middle of the throes of lust, okay? And then that happens, and you got to be honest when I ask, you were doing it. You might as well, Mike.
You
might as well go through. You might as well.
Be a good story. Forrest would finally be able to say I'm at least like 1% gay.
Yes.
Which I'm not.
Yeah, no, I've accepted. I classify myself as 30% gay. I think it's the optimal amount of gay for me.
30% gay. See, that's just that's unbelievable.
Yeah, 30% gay, right? Like I feel like to be a really good lover, you have to appreciate men enough to understand what women would find attractive in them. Right? Like there's an aspect of mimicry in life. Like how can you, like, even grooming yourself, like you have to groom yourself well for women to be into you. You have to look in the mirror and go like, how would I how would I shave my beard today to make me fuckable? Which means that you have to be thinking about what makes a man fuckable, which means you're at least 30% gay. So like the guys I feel like are really not gay at all are some of the dudes like Einstein, right? Like Einstein doesn't give a fuck how he looks. He's not. There's no thought about in his mind about what a sexy man looks like because he's too busy thinking about the universe's titties.
AKA black holes.
Yeah, he's looking for those black holes.
Hey, Einstein, he's that OG gangbanger. Shit.
So tight that light's not even getting out. You know what I'm saying? So
it's a good point. At the same time, I'm thinking like 30% gay is like, oh, I'd like to have sex with women 70% of the time and sex with men 30% of the time.
All right. So let's get back on topic, boys.
Yeah, you
Mike,
gotta focus this.
Mike,
You called Mike out, but I still don't sufficiently think that you've supported why you called him out. But we can just move past that.
Forrest, we don't need commentary from the peanut gallery. All right, we'll come back to you. This is Mike's time. Mike,
all right.
So hypergamy, huh? What do you think about that in a potential partner, huh? What do you think?
I completely missed what you just said. What did you say?
You can't use multi-syllable words on Mike. All right, you gotta really.
Did you say hyperbole?
So,
although to be fair, Cecil, you didn't really explain. What do you even mean hypergamy?
Shut the fuck
hypergamy up. In a partner.
So
like, you're talking about
this girl you're talking to right now, Mike. Shut up, Forrest. This girl you're talking to right now, Mike. Is she or has she ever been hypergamous? Hypergamy.
I do not know what that word means.
Oh fuck. All right.
You gotta define the word, or
has she ever been a bitch ass slut? Just all the dicks, all the time, that you know of.
What defines a bitch ass slut? Like how many dicks are we talking?
Like,
I feel like these are important questions.
There's levels to this shit. Mike, has she been a hoe, dude? Has she been a hoe? Do you care? Does your potential wife?
But is she a virgin?
Does she have to not be has to have never been a hoe? Like, do you care if she has a lot of fucking bodies under the couch?
But how many is a lot of bodies?
Well, let Mike define that.
Well, you can't. You have to kind of define it. You're asking a question about numbers.
Forrest, shut up. You never come back on the show. Let him talk.
No, I understand exactly what it means. I don't really know what like the max number I guess would be. I don't know. I guess
what's your max?
A lot.
How many reps?
If it's like a lot, then that might be bad. Then the questions I'm asking are: Is she like basically how long has it been since all this took place, and has she like mentally recovered? Is she still that way? You know, because you can't marry, like, I'm not going to marry someone who's currently in that mindset. If this was like years ago and the person is just completely different, then very possibly. Then other factors other than that are going to determine whether we go forward.
That's a very respectable answer.
What do you mean mentally recovered, Mike? What about fucking a bunch of random ass niggas makes you mentally recover? Why is that? What do you mean?
Wait. Okay, you see, so that question just hold on. The way
I completely understand what he's asking for.
No, I know what he's asking, but the way he just said it sounded like he said that fucking a bunch of people makes you mentally recover.
Yeah, what about that makes you have to mentally recover? You said
there you go.
I need to make sure she's mentally, like, if there's a lot of bodies, I have to make sure she's mentally recovered. What do you mean?
I think that's pretty straightforward. Like if you're in a stage of life where you're like going around hookup kind of mindset, then you're not in let's settle down, get married mindset. Those are just two different mindsets. So if she's still in that mindset, then we're done. If it's been, like I said, if it's been years, because I think that's kind of maybe not years, but like at least
a week.
probably like half a year to a year. You've got to like make a conscious effort, conscious decision to be like, you know what, I'm not doing this anymore, and we're gonna move forward. Like the way I would say it is God's way, basically.
So you gotta like let things air out a little bit, right? It's like what you spill a smoothie in your car and you clean out the carpet, but it still kind of smells like rotten smoothie. So you gotta roll all the windows down and let all those dicks air out.
Precisely. You gotta let the car air out. Yeah, it's a good one.
So it's not like her pussy's gonna have like rings from all the bodies, and you gotta observe that. And like, when was the last time she fucked a guy? So
Rings.
what if they weren't honest about it? What if they gave you one
like a
thing?
Fucking tree.
She wants to settle down up front, and that's what she's telling you. But behind the scenes, we got a whole bunch of fucking going on, huh? How would you figure that out?
This is what the dating phase is. I don't know. I think that's very hard to hide.
You need like a fucking CIA agent that just follows her around and like has one of those
I don't think that's necessary. I really don't think that's necessary. If you have to hire an agent to follow your person around, you're in trouble. You know what I mean?
No trust. No trust.
No, there is no trust there. You have to hire an agent, and people do this. Pretty good YouTube content, honestly.
It just becomes your fetish, though. Your agent keeps taking pictures of her getting fucked, and you're like, man, this is awful. Keep following her, bro. Keep sending me those pictures.
You're building up blackmail, and you're getting off on her fucking sex tape. That's 3 birds with 1 stone, dude. Fuck.
Thought Patrol.
So the more
dude, we should
bodies...
start a security company called Thought Patrol, where we fucking follow thoughts around for people to figure out if they're fucking.
I'm pretty sure that Thought Patrol's already taken. It's some kind of porn group, so we can't be a security company named that, dude. We get no respect. Okay. We get no business.
All right.
And I would know. I'm the guy who knows all the porn. I've consumed all of it. I've jerked off to all of it, and I have it all backed up. It's all backed up. I'm like the porn archives.
Good. No, I'm never gonna fucking. Somebody accidentally logs into your iCloud account and just fucking has to go bleach their eyes.
So, Mike, body counts. Now, we still haven't hammered down the number. Not that that's important, but this whole we don't trust them if they've been fucking in the past. You would say the more bodies they have, the less you want to trust them to begin with. The less you want to trust what they say. Or if they're honest and say they have a lot, does that affect the level of trust you have for them when they say they want to settle down? They want to be a one guy, a one dick woman, huh? What do you think?
I guess if we're talking like, let's just say it's straight up like 50 plus, I think that's like a deal breaker. Maybe even like 40 plus. I mean, that's just kind of a lot.
So 39, we're good to go.
39, probably not.
Okay.
I don't know. It's kind of
so it's like a gradient.
Like we could tack down a number right now if you guys really want to. Let's see.
It's probably like, what if she's really hot and rich? What if she's really hot and rich and she's born again, right? So like she had 42 dicks, but she's hot, rich, super born again, super into Jesus. Like Jesus is the only thing that's inside of her now. You know? What about them? 42.
Then what's the number?
At least 42. You know, that she remembers.
I would say let's go 25.
So you're not willing,
regardless of you outlined a pretty nice sounding lady right there.
So if she's turned those cheeks 42 times, you're not willing to turn the other cheek and forgive her.
It's a personal preference, okay?
Okay,
personal preference.
So I guess what this is fascinating. What happens between 25 dicks and 42 dicks. Can you walk me through that? Like where does she start to grow little horns on her head? Because like she's already defiled, right? In the
I don't know.
virginity and purity worldview. Like how many what do the dicks start leaving like scars, or like is there some kind of like calluses that get built up between 25 and 42?
Possibly.
Because I get the
I don't know.
between 0 and 1, right? Like I get that, but when you 25 to 42 just starts to seem a little arbitrary. Is there? I guess what's the
Sounds like a pretty big difference to me.
Yeah, but what's the significance between 25 and 42? Like, what changes? Why is it different? That's a good question. Why is it different? Why is 25 you could overcome, but 42 you're just like, damn, too many dicks.
Nah, this is bullshit, dude. Mike's never really thought about a fucking number. Mike, just go into your fucking. What's your other red flags? What other red flags do you want to bring up?
42 dicks. Michael's
I
red
was gonna
flag. You got that one.
Yes. Walmart.
Did you say you're at Walmart right now?
I am at Walmart.
He said Walmart yelling about how many dicks people have had.
Got things to do, man.
Well, that explains the shitty mic quality in the background.
Well, that's just my earbud being a piece of garbage.
Should go interview some people and ask them how many dicks they've had.
I think people have done that before.
I'm like a 70-year-old Walmart greeter lady. While she's checking your receipt, just ask her, how many dicks are on that receipt, man?
That sounds like a forest activity. That sounds like forest podcast.
All right, well.
What else you got, Mike? Come on. Other red flags.
But just ask Forrest a question really quick. I need to find something.
All right, Forrest, circle back to you. What else you got?
Right.
Other red flags, other experiences.
All right. So the other red flag I was thinking about is similar to the first red flag of other people not figuring out this shit, but I feel like it's a relationship red flag depending on your mindset going into it. You know, like people are always thinking about what to look for in the other person, but I feel like the biggest relationship red flag is why you're going into the relationship and where your head's at. Sometimes I feel like even my relationship that went on for 10 years, when I went into that, holy fuck, I was a mess of like a 16-year-old that didn't know shit. And I became like fully, deeply committed to that relationship. So I was a super depressed 16-year-old rather than like focusing on myself and like getting my life together in different ways. It was all like focused in on that relationship, which put a lot of pressure and commitment on both of us. So I feel like that's like another good relationship red flag is like where your own head's at when you go into it.
Are you saying since you were so focused on the relationship and that was your only experience with relationships, that's part of
partially, but it's more that like I was in a really, really unhappy place when I went into that relationship. And it was really good for me. So it's not like it's a huge, like massive, massive regret. It's just like as you get older, you get wiser. So it's like when you're really, really unhappy, it's easy to find this like one thing that you can just like latch onto and get really, 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 really attached to. And instead of finding ways to make yourself happier and build up your own your self-reliance, right? You can like get into this relationship with another person. And especially if that other person is unhappy in some way, then you get really, really like codependent, right? It's like externalizing your unhappiness into like the solution for my unhappiness is this unbelievably meaningful and close relationship whereas the smarter thing to do is like be responsible for your own happiness so that you can be a really stable, good partner going into a relationship.
I understand that, yeah. So you feel like you've got that now with your current fiance?
Oh yeah. No, honestly, the nice thing about the fucked up situation of honestly it's not even fucked up. Everybody was cool. Like everybody did everything above board. But the situation with her previously being with one of my best friends made it so like me and her, our relationship was literally built off of being super good friends, and we used to hang out all the time. And it'd be like if me and you went gay for each other, kind of seesaws, right? Like we already have this friendship there's not like there's no romance in it in the initial way that me and her met whatsoever. So there was like an initial friendship there. So I really feel like I can say anything. And the relationship itself, I even used to say this in the beginning, where it's like we ended up becoming close because we had a ridiculous similarity in the way that we thought. And also, like, we ended up helping each other a ton. So we just developed a really close relationship. And I used to say back then, is like, the biggest fear with dating her was like the fact of us going into a romantic relationship ruining how good our friendship was. But I think we're both like pretty self-reliant people, and we didn't have like rose-colored glasses when we started dating because we literally couldn't have. I was basically married. I had been with one girl for 10 years when we first met, and she was dating one of my friends. So there was no context where we could get rose-colored glasses and look at each other and be like, "Oh my God, you're so special to me, and you're so pure and wonderful, and everything is perfect about you." So I feel like on that front, I mean, no relationship is perfect, but compared to where my head was at in the last one I got into, I feel like we're both much, much more self-reliant people that I think we could stay really, really, really good friends if there was some reason to break up and we just kind of have each other's backs. It's the closest I guess. It's like one of your best bros has titties.
I got titties, Mike. Do you feel like?
I think Seesaw's mission here is just to get Mike to go gay for him.
This whole Perry thing. This whole Perry thing. You know, it's okay to think about a tit or two, even if it's on a man. You know, it's fine.
Yeah, I think that's a good question for Michael. All right, is purity. I've always been fascinated with the concept of sexual purity.
I know you have.
I
think I'm incapable of explaining it to you.
Where does that figure into red flags?
I would
how
say,
do you measure purity?
Well, one thing, okay. I think one thing that really ends up mattering is you both have to be on the same page. So, like, if I didn't care about waiting, or like if she didn't care about waiting and I did, that would be very, very hard. It'd be like we would be on different pages about we'd be on different pages about purity. I think that's pretty obvious there. So
you're talking about waiting. You're talking about waiting to have sex?
To marriage, yeah.
Are you committed to that? Is that?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
No, you're not. What about bases, right? Is like kissing part of that? Is like, you know, squeezing a titty? Is that? Where's the line?
No squeezing of titties.
No squeezing of titties.
No.
If it goes below the neck, it's a no.
It's hard. It's gonna be like we've talked about it a lot. It's probably gonna be one of the hardest things we both do.
Dude, if you're waiting to have sex until you get married with this one, then there's gonna be a lot of things that are hard that whole time.
Yeah. So pretty much.
You must be in a hurry to pop the question then. If I was gonna try to play that game, I'd be proposing after a week. Let's drive to Las Vegas right now.
So
that's
an option, but
Forrest said purity, and my mind did not go to fucking abstinence. Like, are we fucking or not? No, it was how dirty are we getting? Like, how hardcore do you fucking like getting fucked?
No,
I don't think Mike considered that. Like, purity is like anal or
like missionary
or
looking into each other's eyes, like petting each other's hair, being like, "You're just so beautiful."
Like, are we gonna have the swinger lifestyle after we get married? Is that a problem? Like, have you thought about that? Have you thought about swinging? Have you thought about how much of a slut is she really? Like, am I really into that? Is that a red flag if she's too freaky or too kinky or what?
Neither of us are into it.
Neither.
Talked a lot.
You guys are both vanilla. That's what you're saying. You guys are both missionary only. That's what you're saying.
We're both like that's sex outside of marriage. So neither of us are interested.
So, are you not worried about like having to own the same car for the rest of your life without test driving it?
No,
All
no,
right.
and I've told I don't know if I told Chris this already, but I feel like I've told some people it's like if this is truly the one, then there's like no reason to worry. Like I trust God for whatever.
So you think purity? So is
Like,
purity something you can get back then, right? Like if you're not a virgin, you've done the whole hooking up in college, all of that stuff. So like it's just a matter of like you meet a girl and then you're like with this girl in the context of this relationship, it's pure because we don't have sex until we get married. Because like when I think purity, I think like
well, that's okay.
I think
Hold
like
on.
like you spill coffee on something and you're not getting that stain out, right? So at that point, I'm just like, well, fuck it. This just becomes the coffee rug, you know. And who cares if we spill coffee on it after that point? But like, is it something that you can come back, right? Like okay, like, and if so, why doesn't that apply to the girl that had 42 dicks?
Well, okay, so like we were talking about earlier, you know, airing out the car is fine. You know, I think like making a choice for a lifestyle change and then going forward in a good way. You know, like you have sin in your past, but I think, you know, God's not gonna like condemn you forever because you did these things. I mean, he makes it perfectly clear that if we confess our sins, he's faithful and just to forgive us our sins and cleanse us all unrighteousness. So
I respect that.
so
So it's more like a mind shift change, right? It's more like
yeah.
like a giving up
Yes,
of character
yes.
traits you used to have.
Yes. It is I would say it's like a life choice. It's like it's a life decision.
But at some point, there's just been too many dicks. Like your character just can't recover from that many dicks.
You know, maybe not. Maybe not. Screw it. I don't know. I've never really met anybody like that, to be completely honest. So
Well, you don't know. Some of the nicest old ladies you've ever met that like have little crucifixes all over their house and give you tea and cookies. I mean, they might have been flappers back in the day in the 20s, you know? Little short crop hair.
Maybe you're right.
Make their money somehow during the Depression.
All right, so Mike, hypothetically, you guys get married and you're about to fuck for the first time. You are so excited, and she says, "I want it up the butt. We just need to do anal." So
You'll high five at that point. Like he's lucked out. He's
red flag or not? Is it a red flag or is it not a red flag?
Well, it's too late. They're already married, all right? He can't resolve that. Game over. Like it doesn't matter if she's got a bunch of moles in the shape of Gary Busey that like circle her vagina, right? Like it doesn't matter. They're married. Like game over. There's no take back. There's no like, oh shucks.
Gosh darn it! In Mike's exact words, gosh darn it.
Unless, wait, do you guys, is it impure to like see each other naked and be like, all right, is this the body I want to have sex with for the rest of my life?
Force, shut up, Mike. Answer my question, Mike.
You're going back to trusting yourself and not trusting God.
Mike, I'm trying to focus
like,
on.
Would you be salty at God? Though,
Forrest, shut up, Forrest.
All right.
My show.
Good, you. Thank you.
Purity, Mike. Purity. When I'm talking about kinkiness, all right. Red flag. She wants butt sex. Yes, red flag. No, red flag. Why?
I think once you're married, it probably do pretty much whatever you want.
I didn't hear that. What did you say?
He said, I think once you're married, it's good to go.
It's fine.
Yeah, once you're married, I think, you know, the Bible says the marriage bed is a gift for married people to enjoy and to enjoy often.
So nothing.
I don't think it's a problem.
So basically,
it's not a problem as far as purity goes.
Okay, so any sort of kinkiness with your wife, totally fine.
I'd say so. I would say so. Now, maybe like a super, like, maybe somebody who knows more about this than me would go like, well, actually, you're not supposed to X, Y, Z ever. You know, like whatever.
Some guy somewhere that just studies anything about sex in the Bible, so he can go around and be like, "Well, actually, you see."
It's probably Mike's fucking. Mike's working.
Clearly states.
Yeah.
Section 3, subsection 14 of book Are
you okay? Are you having a stroke?
Y'all made me forget where I parked. Damn it. Oh, there I am. All right.
He's too busy thinking about
walking around the Walmart parking lot with a giant ass box.
What the hell are you doing at Walmart, dude? Come on, shop at Costco.
Okay, what about divorce? Is divorce a thing, Michael?
The Bible talks about divorce. If there's cheating between spouses, Jesus actually says in Matthew that divorce is permitted at that point. So they've essentially, like, I don't know. I guess, like, I think ideally you would never get divorced. I think the reasoning behind that is, like, we sin as humans. We sin against God frequently, but He forgives all. So, like, why would a husband not forgive his wife of anything, or why would a wife not forgive her husband of anything?
So does that include cheating?
Yes.
Ah. Well, I hope your future wife never hears this podcast, because now she's got to get out of jail free card.
No, I think if she actually wants to be with me, she wouldn't do that. That's another thing that I've actually learned over time is that concept of, like, not being jealous, essentially, or, like, not having to be. It's like, if the person wants to be with you, they're not going to cheat on you.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
Trash.
Yeah, it is. And my natural instinct was to be, I was never, like, super jealous, but it was definitely there, and it definitely, like, got to me and, like, ate up my time. And I think it was whenever Sophia and I broke up, I, like, made a choice. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go forward in life this way. Of just, like, if I'm dating a girl, I'm not going to worry about her. If she wants to wear super hot clothes out somewhere without me, fine. If she wants to go hang out with whoever, fine. I trust her judgment. If I don't trust her, then that's a good reason not to date her. You know, I mean, Perry is super gorgeous, and I've told her this as well. Like, you know, I'm not gonna tell you what to wear, where to go, you know, because I trust you.
So you said you should and you would forgive any infidelity from your wife.
I don't say any. I don't remember him using the word any.
I wasn't even necessarily talking about me. I was saying the idea is that
we have a major backpedaling now, Steve. So it went from why wouldn't a husband forgive his wife to I wasn't necessarily talking about me.
If the bitch lied, she dies.
This is more backpedaling than I hear on sales calls. No.
Wait, just
no,
a burger
I mean,
flipping.
No. I'm not backpedaling. Like, okay, so I think this is another part of, like, why you don't want to just up and get married to somebody super quick. You want to vet them, right? You have to make sure, like, is this the type of person who would be faithful? I think that can become very, very clear during the dating process, but that's why it takes time. You have to, like, actually see. You have to wait. You have to, like, wait for the person to go spend time with friends, meet new people, like, see how they carry out life, essentially, and then make decisions.
How deep does faithful go? So, like, let's say, how deep does faithful go? Like, let's say you get hit by a car and you're paralyzed from the neck down, and you're never, ever going to be able to have sex again. Like, you're never going to be able to, lay the pipe, and she's gonna have to go the rest of her life sexless, and it is what it is, right? Is it unfaithful to let her go, get dicked down elsewhere, or is the marriage contract like we ride or die together, and there's no more genitals around either of us, even if the other is permanently unable to perform?
That's probably what
Like,
it would be. I mean, marriage is through sickness and health, whatever they say, right? So it's like, yeah, paralysis is terrible, but like, if you're still married to the person, you're still married to the person.
you're not getting laid. Period. There's no getting laid if somebody gets
Probably
disabled.
never again. Or like who knows? Like, can the person still speak? Like, can they still Can you still have a conversation with them? Are they a vegetable?
No, not I wasn't imagining vegetable. I was just imagining like neck down paralysis, right? Like you're still gonna stay around and take care of the person, but it's just like, is there ever a point in that worldview where you come to terms with it and you're just like if I got hit by a truck and I really couldn't give dick anymore, I would not expect a woman to be like, I don't like the idea of like, I don't understand the idea of like multiplying suffering out of some kind of loyalty,
So
right?
that's why I asked, can they speak? Because I mean, like, if it was me who got hit by a car, I would be like, look, I don't expect. Like, I want what I love you. I want what's best for you.
Yeah, it'd be
if you stay with me, I'm honored, basically. But
the man I used to be.
All right. We're gonna shift gears a little bit. I originally thought relationship red flags. We're gonna talk about pre-commitment and the dating phase signals.
Well, you got to control the conversation here. All right, you're the leader here.
I'm no longer at Walmart, so I can talk.
Oh, so now we're getting the real Michael.
Other red flags.
We're getting the real Michael. So, in the dating phase, what red flags or signals? What can happen that'll make you just want to cut it off right there? Just don't.
I think
see
you
the
were
person
onto a
ever
good
again.
one earlier about like hypergamy or like promiscuousness, but it's less about necessarily. I think we focus too much on like how many dicks, right? Or like is past sluttiness in males or females, whatever. Like, is that itself the red flag? I think the concern is oh god, I'm getting an Amber Alert. Oh Jesus! Oh, hold on, I can't. It won't turn off. It's so loud. Okay, I got it. We're good. Okay. Anyway,
oh, there it is.
I think the red flag is more around like if a girl, especially I feel like young women, and this is definitely coming off like going to come off a little biased and sexist, but I think typically like the forces in the relationship market, especially when you're young, is a little different typically for males and females. But this could apply to men too. But I would say like if you're like dating a girl and she constantly has this vibe, it's like one thing to challenge your partner for growth, right? And to like push each other to be better versions of themselves. But if you feel like she's constantly measuring you compared to all the other guys around you, and like,
that's creepy.
Yeah, making a little too long of eye contact and kind of like making comments about your friends and shit in a way that like, I feel like that's sometimes common. I feel like that's more of the hypergamy direction you were going, because it's like this, it's like this like it's similar to in a job interview, right? Like if you're interviewing somebody for like some kind of thing where you want them to lead or build something over a number of years, and they've got a history of just like jumping from job to job, or they're constantly sitting there trying to get like negotiate you against like 6 other employers to just get the highest salary. It's just like shows like cutthroatness, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's a red flag. Is like the behavior of. It's a weird balance though, right? Because like I also think when you're young, it's reasonable though. It is reasonable when you're young though to like not overcommit to a certain partner, because you should be thinking about like everybody that's out there in a sense. But I feel like if you're in a relationship and you're like, oh, we're serious, this is going to be a long-term relationship, that's like a huge like. It's just like kind of like a reciprocity thing, right? Like if you're super committed and you're doing this whole like, oh, she's my one and only, but she's kind of like flaunting it to everybody, that's a huge red flag. Otherwise, you guys should just be, slutty people together and both flaunt it around.
I think I mostly agree with that.
I think asymmetry is a big red flag, and it's hard to like pinpoint that, because like you get this. It's not like everyone's equally attractive. Like it's easy to abstract all this out and be like, well, each person is going to be like the equal amount of slutty, or other people are going to hit on one partner more than the other. Like one partner is going to have more sexual allure than the other partner. So you can't be perfectly like reciprocity, but I would say like in intention. So that's another big red flag. If there's not like reciprocity in intention and like the way you're considerate of each other, that's a really, really big one.
It's a war zone out there, boys. All right?
Yeah.
You're constantly fighting yourself. You're fighting these hoes. You're fighting everyone on Tinder. And you're fighting Twitter. All right? You don't want to get Twitter canceled in the middle of a date because you said fuck the police last night when you were drunk.
Yeah, or you go on a podcast with your friends using your real names and talk about sex and women and purity and dicks.
Oh, so
Yeah.
my real name is Christopher Elijah Sauceda,
That's
a.k.a.
right. He's gonna
Fat
edit that
Bastard.
part out.
Just
He's
for
gonna
all
edit that part
you
out.
you viewers out there, you guys thought I was hiding from you? Nah.
Alright,
Nah.
There we go. You
Come
gotta-
find me, bitch. Come find me.
My name,
I fucking dare you.
Lafayette.
My name is Jimmy. Jimmy Big
Are you
Hawk.
sure it's not Timmy?
Jimmy Big Hawk.
Fat Bastard is out here. Okay, now, Mike, if the girl is a know-it-all, you've used the term know-it-all before.
Yeah.
How much of a red flag is that? I know you said you weren't feeling it. So if a
It's
woman
actually
is
a deal breaker. Yeah. Like,
If a woman
first
is-
of all, there's deal breakers and there's red flags. There's a difference.
what's the difference?
Deal breaker is like date is over, goodbye. A red flag is something that can potentially be worked through. So that's I think something of note.
What is a know-it-all? It's like with hypergamy, with all the dicks. Like we keep asking each other terms without really diving into like what it is to each of us. Like what is a know-it-all? Because that could be everything from
Know-it-all-
like if you're in like a really radical Muslim country, a know-it-all could be any woman that shows her hair and asks you a question, or a know-it-all could be like a super annoying chick that like insults you every chance she gets and calls you an idiot. So like, I'm just trying to figure out where we're putting the pin and what a know-it-all is.
Oh man, I don't know.
What are the qualities of a know-it-all? What are the behavior? What are the things that tilt you about somebody that's a know-it-all in a relationship? Like, what do they do that's like,
if there's nothing, you cannot tell this person anything. They've already done it before. There's nothing interesting about you. You have nothing interesting to say. Like they gotta one up you on like every little thing. There's like nothing you can tell them that is like, oh yeah, blah 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 blah. And it's like there's, you know, you talk to somebody like that and it's like, is there any genuine interest here? Are we having a conversation? Like what is even happening? You know,
okay, so just somebody that's
they'll
like super
typically
arrogant.
they'll like talk about themselves a lot. They won't ask you questions about yourself. I think those are the main things. But on
like
the opposite,
arrogant.
I mean, that's the extreme. Arrogance,
sounds
I
like-
think, is part of it. Arrogance is a large piece.
Or like being super
Of
narcissistic. Like they're not interested in you.
Narcissistic
And, like-
mixed with arrogance, you probably end up with a lot of know-it-all people in that category.
What about you, Seasauce? What are your relationship red flags?
I'm the fucking incel. This is why you guys are gonna carry this
I knew
fucking
that's
topic.
what the podcast is about. You're over here trying to like understand. Like me and Michael have both gotten laid, even though Michael's anti getting laid now. So you're out here you're taking notes.
No,
You're
I
taking
have
notes.
I have a little bit of an anecdote. I do have a little bit to contribute. So
Alright.
this girl, summer 2017, Mike knows. I'm gonna call her Jeanette, but Mike knows, and I think Forrest knows her real name.
Mhm.
And when I first saw her, she's like she was ridiculous. She was the bee's knees. She was everything. Okay, and I had never felt that way about anyone.
You
before.
were infatuated.
So that was puppy dog love eyes I had for her that whole summer. So on first meet, and we're alone, she talks about her wanting to hang out with a black fraternity or a black sorority, some black group or whatever on campus, and how she went to a party, went to some social event they were having, and they dumped on her for being light skinned or mixed breed, fucking half blood, fucking not actually black, and she felt discriminated against, and she fucking hated it.
It's fucking Harry Potter. Not blood.
Half blood, Mako. So
You white muggle bitch.
Oh my god.
And that was just a small example. I figured out she was really trying to represent her. She was biracial. She's like Logic. She's like fucking everybody who says I'm two races. I want to be both these. I'm black. But she was kind of rejecting that she was biracial. She wanted to just be black. She wanted to fit in with any black group, any black social thing, and she just wanted people to know I'm black and I've been through it. I know what you're going through and all that shit. And it just felt so fake to me. It felt like she was trying to please some image she wanted to have or some image her family thought and live up to that. And it kind of reminded me of this episode of Fresh Prince where Will Smith's character or somebody had a white girlfriend with something racial that happened. Oh wait, I think it was his mom that didn't want him to see some girl or something because of the way she looked or something like that. There was just some discrimination going on there, and I was like, okay, well, if we complain so much about being discriminated against and we do the same shit to other people, you're fucking dead. I don't know what the fuck you're on. You deserve no attention at all. So that was kind of that wasn't, not that I was really trying to marry her or anything, but having a close relationship with her, that was a red flag to me. That whole, I need to be seen as a certain race, or I need to be seen as this, and I need to please these people. I need to get along with these people. And the other extension to that is that I found out she was only into black guys, and she was only talking to me and a few other guys that were not complete, like not dark skin, like light skin like me. But ultimately, I just ticked the box for her, apparently. Like I felt like it wasn't just me she was into or she was talking to. It was just a black guy she was talking to. So that was a red flag for me. Eventually I had to realize I was only there. I was only about it. She was only about me because, or she wouldn't have been about me if I was white. And
So
a lot of
the
people like
racism-
to
Is the red flag just racism?
shut up. A lot of people. Now you made me lose my. Fuck you, bitch. Fuck.
Oh, I'm sorry. When you were interrupting us earlier, it was fine.
It's my fucking show. I can interrupt if I want, bitch. Look.
You sure it's your show? Because I think I came in and made it my show.
Oh, god damn it. You kill my stream of consciousness, and now I just lose it.
Well,
and
what's the red flag? What's the red flag? So it's like I think I get it, but I'm just trying to understand if I get it. So it's like people that maybe there's a few red flags. Like you could take a really low hanging fruit and be like racism. People are obsessed with race, and like that's why they want to date. You know, you don't feel like they're dating you for you. It's like they've got all these racial hangups. But I feel like identity in a whole might be, you could go a level higher and just be like people that are obsessed with their like something about their identity, and they're like mapping that onto you in a way. Is that fair to say?
If you look at the girl's history, like other people she's been with, and they're all the same, they all have similar physical qualities, and you just match that, that's a red flag for me. Because, like I said, I felt like I was just ticking a box for her. She wouldn't have talked to me if I wasn't this. And I don't control my appearance or identity, so my physical identity. So
now, what if that box was having like a 9-inch dick?
Same thing. So she only loves me for my dick, man. If I didn't have this dick, she would.
My dick. Said no one ever. You know, you'll never. That's one thing. You'll almost never hear a guy say, "Oh man, she only loves me for my dick." It's more like that. She only loves me for my dick.
She only loves the good sex I give to her, man. Like, she don't love me.
That's great news. I was like, hallelujah, hallelujah. This is everything I want. You mean I don't have to talk to her? I don't have to go visit her family?
And then the other, besides the identity thing, the identity checklist red flag is the I gotta look good for other people red flag. It's sometimes the reason they have that checklist is because they have expectations other people they're trying to meet of other people, or expectations coming from other people that they place a huge value on, like their family. Maybe their family only wants them. Maybe, actually, I probably have this too. If I were to bring a white girl home and to meet my mom, she would probably have a problem with it, but I personally wouldn't care.
Well, I hope
Fuck
not, 'cause
her.
I would've brought her home. Like,
and if some people thought that and they did care that their parents wouldn't accept or wouldn't like their partner because of a certain physical quality, like being a non-minority or some shit like that, also kind of a red flag, because if you're doing long-term commitment shit, then you're gonna have to deal with their fucking family. So if their family doesn't like you just because you're white, or just because you're not black, or whatever the fuck, something you can't control, then
ooh, I think you just got on a really good high-level red flag that we haven't really talked about, which you're like bringing up, but in a roundabout way. But like, multifaceted identity is a huge red flag to me. And like, you see that even in friendships, that's a red flag. Like, that's a massive red flag in any like trusted relationship for me. And it's not that people like, there's like a difference between being polite or more polite around people that have a like behavioral preference, like, you know, going and hanging out with somebody's grandparents and not yelling about dick and balls. But people that like hide things about themselves depending on who they're around, or have like wear multiple masks in a sense, right? And there's not like a really deep continuity of being, or there's like a level of like pretending they're different around different people. I think that is like one of the biggest human behavior red flags possible.
I agree. And I wish I had a good example of that. I want to say,
you just attack Mike again.
Yeah, Mike.
I mean, everybody does that to an extent, right? Like, there's a line about, you know, there's like a line somewhere in it. But I think most of it is like, even if you act like, I act a little different, I would say, around like my fiance's family, but not in like not different in the way that like if they opened the door to any kind of more like explicit humor or whatever, like I don't hide anything about myself, if that makes sense. Like, I might be a little more polite just because they're much more polite people, but I also am very, very honest that like I grew up in metal clubs, crowd surfing. I was a dropout. Like, I have a very cynical sense of humor. I think being able to explain yourself without necessarily acting out is also useful. But yeah, in general, like, I think that's one of my biggest red flags is when you go see, even it's little things. So it can be like people's tones of voice seriously changing depending on who they're talking to. And there's like a subtle manipulation aspect of it that a lot of people do. A ton of people, I think, do that just by accident.
Mike, are you alive? Cup check.
Oh, yeah.
Let's cup check Mike. He hasn't said anything. Cup check. Hello, anybody there? Anybody home? Anybody?
Yeah.
So you've been listening this whole time?
Yeah.
Intently.
You have
He's
no
taking notes.
you have no input. You just got nothing to say. No examples.
Well, Michael's talked about that with me in the past. Like, I think
I talked to Chris about this at length yesterday or 2 days ago.
I don't remember that particular part of the conversation. But let's
Well,
talk a little bit more about your.
two-facedness.
Here's why I think you're kind of two-faced, Mike. Your church guys, your little church life you got going on, how well would we fit into that? If we got around your church friends, or if you had an event you wanted to bring church friends, are we not invited? Do you want to keep those parts separate?
That's the question. I think the question is, does he act differently around different groups of people?
Or that? Answer that.
Because like I could see not having friends. Like I've got friends. Like one of my best friends is coming to stay with me this month, and it's like out of respect of Anne's family, I probably wouldn't bring him around her family and have me and him cutting up like with the most ridiculous. He's in the army right now, and it's just nothing is off limits as far as humor. But I also wouldn't be dishonest. Like if people ask me about my humor, I'll be super honest. I'm like, I really don't have lines. The question to me isn't like, do you bring different groups of people together that might hate each other? I think it's like, do you feel like you take on a different ethical code in a sense depending on where you are, or like take on really significantly different behaviors?
So is this actually the question to me?
Yeah, I guess. I'm just trying to, I don't know, I'm trying to redirect Chris's question instead of focusing on like, do you bring friends together? Because I don't feel like that's the heart of being two-faced. And I'm not accusing you of being two-faced.
Wait, what?
I said I'm not accusing you of being two-faced, just to be clear.
I am.
No, I honestly don't think I am. I could see how it may come across that way to Chris. Like, I have multiple different friend groups who I don't typically mix. I mean, straight up. Like I've told Christian friends that as well. Like whenever I had the New Year's Eve party, it literally, I don't think any single one of my Christian friends would have enjoyed being there. Basically, none of them. Every single one of them probably would have been uncomfortable, just because
this was
like
Bible study. Why is this guy shirtless?
Well, yeah, and it's like, do I, Michael Coulter, care about any of that? No, I don't. I think everybody's just having fun. Now, when I get married and I have a wedding, fucking everybody's invited. Everybody. And everyone can just get. Well, like, that's up to you. If you think that's a good opportunity to do that, then
hey,
fuck.
The shirt at least came fully unbuttoned when I was at Amanda's wedding, so there was glow sticks involved.
Whatever. No, that's what I'm saying. It's like I think it would be a really cool. I think it's kind of a cool situation to have like everybody together, because it's like, yeah, you're mixing tons of different personality types. I've become like increasingly interested in psychology lately. But I guess how do I even be concise here? Yes, I will not. I don't typically like invite all of my friends to every single function.
Do you struggle with that at all? Like, do you struggle with having different like groups of friends that have different boundaries? Like internally, does that create any like, I guess, identity issues in you or whatever? Like, do you feel peer pressured to act a different way with different groups of people?
No, because I'm honest about these things.
Right, so
like I had you and Tyler, huh?
I said Seesaw's threw the gauntlet down, right?
Well, and yeah, because he doesn't know.
Well, he's accusing you of being two-faced, so I'm gonna challenge Seesaw. So Seesaw, where is that accusation coming from? Where is your like? Why do you think? Why'd you go as far as to say you think he's two-faced? And I'm trying to ambush you, but I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just asking the question.
No, I'll shit on myself, dude. I'm selfish as fuck when it comes to bringing people together or trying to hang out and shit. So the idea of having multiple exclusive groups of friends is weird to me. It's foreign to me. I don't even have that many friends. I can count on my fucking hand the niggas I talk to. So if I needed to bring more than one guy together, I wouldn't care. I never thought about this guy's like this or this guy would be uncomfortable here. I think generally the few friends I have, you guys can all come together easily, and the other guys I know can all come together at once on anything, and it's just going to work. It's just going to be fireworks like Katy Perry. So the idea that I would have so many friends that they're in groups, and I gotta be like,
But
okay, so
part
I'm
of that
doing
might be
this.
your personality type. Like me and you have a somewhat similar parts of our personality where we're both very like forward. Where Michael's kind of more passive, like even in these conversations, right? Like he
I
kind of
mean,
like
and when you say passive, you mean bitch. He's a bitch.
no, that's
No,
engaged.
not a no at all.
He doesn't avoid like confrontation deeply.
Love.
Like he'll engage. So no, I don't think he's a bitch in that sense. If you like directly ask him a question, he doesn't like squirm intensely. But he's like not. He doesn't set the tone, so to speak, of the group he's hanging out with, right? Like he's very much like you go to Mike to interact, and then something develops as far as a conversation. Whereas me and you're like very acidic in a sense, right? Like there's a aspect of you like poking people's boundaries, and I do some of the same stuff through humor, right? Like I have a very extroverted sense of humor, so I think it makes sense that me and you like have very consistent interactions where like people either like us or they don't, and we are very like extroverted with our behavior, whereas Michael's very like, he's got a relatively introverted nature to him.
Yeah, I was thinking about Mike. You're a fucking girlfriend or whatever. If I was myself around her, she would get so offended, dude. She's a stuck-up bitch. Is my first impression without even fucking meeting her. I say one fucking thing. Like I dump on her, and she's like, Michael, I don't want to see him ever again. He disrespected me.
Who are you talking about?
I was talking about your fucking girlfriend.
I think he's hypothesizing.
Dude, you don't even know Perry.
So given what Forrest says about me, and
He's
it's
scared
true.
to lose you, Michael. He's scared to lose you.
I dump on everybody. All right. So she comes around.
That's fine. Also, I think it's a red flag if somebody doesn't have tough skin. That's another thing. I have a lot of freaking red flag. Like I have a lot of red flags that I've outlined over the years and deal breakers. There are probably more. I don't know if there are more deal breakers or more red flags, honestly. But no, being wimpy and not having thick skin. I have extremely thick skin.
Because of me?
Because of everything. I don't know. There's very little. I don't know. I have very thick skin, so like if it would be very hard for me to be with somebody with thin skin. And Perry does not seem to have thin skin at all.
Well, she hasn't suffered the jealous Chris test, because Chris is worried about losing his friendship, so he's gonna bring the whole dump truck.
Don't make Chris
run out in tears, all right? Don't make him run out in tears when you have to friend break up with him because he was mean to your girl.
Just rip the Band-Aid off, Mike. Just say, hey, You crossed the line there, and I want to make it right with this girl. So
that's actually a good question for you, C-Sauce. How do you deal with people's boundaries?
I don't.
Right, since you like to push boundaries and you like to dump on them, right?
Yeah.
But like, where does that go from like funny ability to have humor, whatever your thing is, to being an asshole?
So I have a perfect example. Perfect example. Stubby Almond. If you viewers, you degenerate bastards, watch the last episode. There was, when we initially met in Discord, I started dumping at her. I think I called her like retarded or something. And she starts talking all this shit. She's like calling us like horny bastards and all that shit. I'll probably link that. I'll probably put a screenshot in this recording. I'll edit it a little bit. And at first I tell Mike, I'm like, is she fucking mad that I called her like stupid? And I immediately go to fucking apologize. I'm like, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to offend you. I just talk shit. Are we cool? And she was like, oh, I didn't care. And I'm just like, you bitch, you sounded like you were, that, like the kind of humor she had just rubbed me like she was fucking like Shaniqua.
You got bamboozled, it sounds like.
Yeah, this bitch, her humor, like her dumping is literally just like, your mom fucking hates you. Like you should have been aborted. I want to say, like her shit comes up.
That's like me deep down. That was like I used to sit on Xbox Live and just I just grew up shit talking on Xbox.
I don't know if Forrest realizes he's met this person, by the way.
So at first, if I feel like I'm genuinely affecting their, like, they start crying. Actually, if they start crying, then I'll be like, okay, I'm just having fun. It's fun to dump on people, but it's not fun when you start getting emotional. Like I feel guilty. So, fuck.
Yeah, I have to. There's a weird thing. Like there's like again, it's one of those like, weirdly subjective things. Like where are people responsible for their emotions? Like I think my thing is I really don't like to have to have a sense of where other people's like intellectual boundaries are. Obviously physical boundaries and like things like that are different. Like running up and honking someone's titties is very different from making stupid jokes that it just involves intellectual wrestling. But like I just don't like to have friendships where I have to respect boundaries. So if I get that sense, I usually just either don't hang out with the person or I'll just be straight out and be like, look, I'm stupid open in my conversations, and if you're gonna get mad, just stop being friends with me now. Because I don't like to be, I think the key of what I was saying is I really, really don't like to be emotionally responsible for somebody else, like paying attention, like, uh-oh, this person's going to be really sensitive about this thing. Now there's a difference between that and like harping on something constantly all the time, like every time you talk to them, like really trying to like wear people down and be like a piece of shit. Like there's a line between having fun and dumping on each other and like, I hate to use this word because it's so overused, but like actually trying to bully somebody, like they're starting to feel like insecure and fucked up about something, and you really want them to wriggle like a little worm. That's I never ever go there, but I don't like feeling emotionally responsible. Like I think where's that? I don't. How do you modulate that line?
I kind of want to do that to Mike. I kind of do want to actually make him wriggle, but
you really want to make Mike.
He hasn't given me an opening, dude.
Beef. I wouldn't call it beef, but you're frustrated. It's almost like you're sexually frustrated with Mike, right? He hasn't shown you enough nipple. Like there's something you haven't gotten satisfaction.
I'm gonna get my nut one way or the other.
Yeah, I gotta get my nut. I gotta open Mike up and I gotta dig around in there. But you're just not good at asking discovery questions. So you're gonna have to get better at that if you really want to make the worm wriggle.
Shut the fuck up. All right. We're already past an hour. I did not expect this to go this long, but we actually covered a lot of good ground. I want to finish with one last fucking anecdote personally. So, a separate girl from Jeanette, her alias, also fucking hot. God damn it, that was a regret. Didn't go further with her, but we hang out one time.
Hi one time. He said hi.
We hang out one time. I bring my guitar that I don't know how to play over to her apartment. She's got a roommate, and she plays guitar really well. I was fucking impressed. But we're just talking, and she brings up gun control, not gun control, or police state, shit like that. The conversation turns into, I think we start at like the homeless. She was talking about some homeless woman and how it was bad. She was just sitting on the bus stop all the time, and she was always there. She felt sorry for her. I was like, yeah, that is bad. But then the conversation goes towards, so we shouldn't have police. She says we shouldn't have any law enforcement, or we should defund the police, and they shouldn't have weapons. And people should just police themselves. And I was like, at first I was like,
her in the face and be like, police me.
I was like, I see where you're coming from, but I don't agree. And she was really trying to get me to agree with her. And I just felt like she was pushing me. She was like, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? I was like, hey, you're saying you know what I mean a lot. But I don't agree with this. Like, it's just like you're trying to force me to agree with you. And shit just got real awkward after that. She just got personally invested in having me like fucking yes man her. So that red flag, that we never met again. She like blocked me on Facebook, dude, and that was a big regret for me, but also not really, because that just got real. She got real politically, sociopolitically restrictive. she wasn't really open on. She didn't seem open to me not practically agreeing or not just sucking her off sociopolitically.
So like people being super ideological is a red flag.
Yeah. If you have to share, like, for example, Mike and his Christianity shit, if I have to be Christian around you, bitch, fuck off. I'm not Christian.
If I ever once asked you to do that.
I'm not your libtard. I'm not your Republican. I'm fat bastard. And this has been episode, I don't know the fuck, but go fuck yourself.